Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Paranormal Misfit Podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy, and as we know, it's all things paranormal, cryptid, unknown, and everything in between. If you're not subscribed or if you didn't see the episodes back in, October?
October.
This is my special guest co-host, Nino Daniel. You may know him from Smart Friend in a Horror Movie, or the Karen Karenson Hotline,
or just a whole bunch
or anything else. If you've seen him on TikTok, you've seen him on Instagram and Facebook. So today I'm excited because I remember this came off from a conversation you and I were just having one day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about conspiracy theories, and it's the first one ever for this podcast. So I'm really excited.
I'm so honored.
Because whenever you and I were like going back and forth about it, I was like, oh no, I can't pick anyone else but Nino, because clearly
I mean, I thought when we filmed our first podcast episode, and thank you so much, by the way, to anyone listening to this, Chrissy and Paranormal Misfit Podcast, one of my faves, literally one of my faves. Our first podcast episode was we scheduled it for like an hour 30. We went just under 3.
Yeah, it was a long one.
We went, and I literally remember listening to it while I was in New Mexico with my husband for his birthday, and we had enough drive time to listening to the whole thing, like, uninterrupted. So I'm so happy to be back, and this is one of my favorite things to talk about with one of my favorite people to talk about it with. So
yes. Okay, so obviously I know I've been doom scrolling on TikTok like crazy, because we've had P. Diddy in the spotlight, and all of his shenanigans going down with Cassie and all of the others who are coming forward.
Danny D. Kane.
Oh, Aubrey
O'Day.
Aubrey O'Day's been having a field day. Old security guards that he's had.
Drivers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, male escorts.
And people who were got to the door of his house for his all-white party, but then were like, this is a sausage fest.
No, thank you. All we're waiting on, and I know I'm in the same boat with everyone else, everyone's like, we're waiting for J-Lo. Because back in the early 2000s, she was at a party with him. They all got arrested, and 2 out of the 3 had the charges dropped. And then all of a sudden they broke up.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right. Oh, and then there's been the, I don't know what to call them, maybe theories or hints about Usher and Justin Bieber and being abused by Diddy himself, allegedly. Gonna put that out there. All of this is alleged, guys. Please don't come after us. Like, I don't need that.
Could you imagine? We have viable proof. No, we have no proof. We have nothing. We know nothing. We heard nothing. The end.
That's right. I will start pulling up my TikTok videos. I'm gonna show you.
Oh my gosh. I've also, I feel like this, like I was just saying, I feel like this is probably gonna be something I want to talk about with you in maybe like a series format, because there are so many things to get into. I'm a big fan of just watching every single name drop off that Epstein list.
Yes.
When the Stephen Hawking name dropped, I think my eyeball came out.
So my husband it blew his mind, but then the memes that came out after it.
Oh, like, hilarious. Hilarious. I saw one.
That sub like imploded on itself in the sea. It was like months. And my husband daily was sending me at least 5. And I'm like, you gotta stop. You can like calm down. Get off the internet.
I'm gonna block you.
So with Diddy comes Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I feel like given their fan base, given Beyonce's fan base, maybe I'm not saying like let's not talk about it, because I want to talk about it, because it's way too coincidental that every time Beyonce starts a tour, within like 15 to like 45 days of the tour starting, someone famous dies.
I have not noticed that, but now I'm going to have to look into that.
Well, who died right around the time the Renaissance tour started?
When was the Renaissance?
Summer last year, summer 2020.
Summertime.
I think didn't Tina Turner die?
Was it Tina Turner? Hold, please.
When did Tina? May 24th, 2023 is when Tina Turner died.
Oh, she died right before my birthday.
When did Renaissance tour start?
Like June or July, right?
May 10th, 2023.
Oh my God.
And then if you look at when did Michael Jackson die? June 25th, 2029. And then what tour did Beyonce do in 2000? When did I say MJ died?
2009.
June, right? June. I am Sasha Fierce World Tour, March 2009.
And there are theories around that I am Sasha part. Like, it's not necessarily her alter ego, but it's like a clone or something that took over.
Oh yeah, there was another video. Well, I love. Also, welcome to the podcast where we have no train of thought. We just like welcome to the
ADHD club. Have fun, guys. We're gonna come back again. We're gonna swivel back.
So there was a video that I saw of like an underground rapper, but he's like really good. I don't remember his name. He has like tattoos on his face. I'm really narrowing it down for you. He's a white guy, but he's really good. He's tall, built. He has tattoos on his face, and he was talking about how there's a certain point where like celebrities like disappear for like 6 to 8 months and you don't see photos of them and they're like taking time for themselves. And he said like, no, what they're doing is they take like cell DNA and bone marrow and they clone that celebrity and then they put the clone back out and then they hold captive the original one. So then the clone can push the agenda.
Oh my God. I was reading, so I have like secret society books, cults and all, conspiracy theories, whatever. And they were talking about, and this is around the Illuminati part. They say that it's not necessarily the celebrities are actually part of the Illuminati. It's more so that they're the pawns of the Illuminati, while everyone else in the actual Illuminati, all the ultra wealthy, are pulling the strings and doing what they need to do behind the scenes because you got to entertain the masses somehow. And we blindly follow celebrities, sports figures, entertainers like crazy.
There's a quote that I read a couple of years back, and it's like, and you can Google this, but it's if you Google the phrase bread and circus, and it says like if you give them bread and if you give them circus, they will be too distracted to like defy like political whatever, societal whatever. Like, and if you think about it, how did like the Romans, how did like the Roman government distract their people by having chariot races and all of that stuff? Well, where was that held? In a Colosseum. What resembles a modern day Colosseum?
Oh yeah, sports.
A football arena.
Right. And they usually have the concerts there too. That's what they use.
Yeah. So it's not much different. I will say to the Illuminati thing, without giving away too much information, when I was in social work, there was this client that I had whose ex-husband is a very big Hollywood actor, like starred alongside Will Ferrell. They lived next door to, oh my God, Brad Pitt. And like
Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt or Jennifer Aniston?
Like Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, like she told me like, oh yeah, my kids would go next door and like swim with Brad's kids and all of this stuff. And I said, okay, here, let's make a deal. I will do my social work stuff that I need to do, but I also want to ask you questions about like things behind the curtain in Hollywood.
Right.
And I openly was just, the first words out of my mouth, the very first words was like, is the Illuminati real?
Yeah.
And she's like, there definitely is something there, but they keep it even from us.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so what? And she told me, she's like, it's not so much some stuff that you would assume, but it's mostly sex based. And I'm like, shocker.
Right.
Um, she told me, she's like, what happens is like randomly a whole bunch of celebrities will go in masks and they'll be invited to these Hollywood parties, and all of these elites have these scripts that are coming like down the pipeline, like of really good movies and stuff, and they'll literally be like, oh, if you want the starring role plus a $10 million paycheck, suck his dick. Or
I mean, it's been like that since, like, at least from what I know. I'm a huge Marilyn Monroe fan.
mm-hmm.
I have her autobiography. I have like not auto. I have her biographies. I've got like the different things and stuff like that, and a lot of that points to like her early days where she was basically put on a silver platter and told to entertain the bigwigs when they say.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it also kind of you can say that some of the things in the movie star world also maybe tie into the music realm.
Mm-hmm.
P. Diddy, right?
Oh God. The more that comes out about that, the more I'm disgusted. I'm just like, oh, this is why would your brain be hardwired that way?
Flabber fucking gasted.
Right?
Flabber, and wasn't it like weren't the VMAs like 2 months prior to all of this stuff coming out, and then he has like an album coming out called Everything Is Love and da 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 da, and he plays so many people, and then I'm not even kidding you, like 2 months ish, whatever, all of this stuff just came out with like the Cassie like trials and everything, and it wasn't even a trial.
No, she 24 hours.
And you know
24
how
hours.
she did that, right?
There was some sort of verbiage her and her lawyers used.
Yeah,
because she has everything. And there's supposedly it's either her or Kimora, Lee Simmons. Either both or one of them for sure has Kim Porter's autobiography that Kim was working on before she passed. Yeah. Because there's also a burner phone. That's what happened. The feds have the burner phone from Kim Porter that Kim gave to Cassie. Cassie kept a hold of and gave it to the feds. Because her lawyers and her had, whenever they put in the thing into court, they wrote it in such a way that the feds, no matter what, would have to look into him because of the verbiage and stuff she used.
I was watching a TikTok video and someone explained it. I don't remember their name and I'm so sorry, I can't give credit. I don't want to give improper credit. So there was like a clip where the reason why the turnaround was so quick was because Cassie not only came after Diddy, she came after Bad Boy Entertainment, she came after Diddy Global, she came after everyone. And what basically happened is like the people who ensure the policies for his entertainment like subsidiaries basically said step down right now.
Yeah, because it was crazy. If you remember in the news, it was like his lawyers were like, "Oh, we're gonna take this all the way," and then all of a sudden, in 24 hours, it was done. And I'm like, "Okay, that was a lot of talk."
She didn't just sue Diddy; she sued because she was still technically, if I'm not mistaken, she's still signed under Bad Boy. So
they probably have her stuff too.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure she not only sued Diddy the person, she sued the policy insurers, Bad Boy Entertainment, and then everyone was like, "There's too much evidence," because what apparently was going on, because I've like, not that I know, but from what I've read, is that she knew she would be like sex trafficked, and she would be. If you've sometimes seen her, she seemed like out of it.
Yeah.
And it's because she was very fucking high, allegedly, and from what I've read.
Right. And have you ever seen the clip of Young Jock talking about when he was at like Diddy's house or someone's house or something? You remember the year where Cassie shaved her head? So there's a clip Young Jock explaining this. I think it was either on a podcast or a radio station. And he was like, you know, he was already kind of talking to her, kind of, you know, like down and stuff, talking about Diddy talking to Cassie. And a white woman came out and she had the hair on the top and she had the sides shaved. And he looked at Cassie and he's like, "You're going to do that." And he said, sure enough, within 24 hours, Cassie had that done to her head. Because whatever Diddy said, she had to do.
I found it really strange that she really didn't release any more music after what, 2 singles?
Yeah. I only know of one.
The Me and You song.
Yeah.
And I think there was one more. It didn't chart very well.
Mm-hmm.
I remember with Diddy as well, I read some actor came to his white party because Diddy was like notorious for hosting the white parties.
Yep.
And this guy said, like, and I can't remember his name for the life of me. I just know it's an actor. And again, this is all alleged. This is all
right. This is all from what we've seen.
This is all from just like a perception standpoint. Stated allegedly, like he got there and he's like, "Where are the girls?"
Yeah. Wasn't that Cat Williams? I think Cat Williams had the same.
Yeah, maybe no. This because I remember the Cat Williams thing like just recently came out, but I remember this being said like I'm talking 10 plus years ago. I remember this vividly, and that's when I think I was like, maybe Diddy's gay.
Yes. Oh. Allegedly, that's what is coming out.
Because from going back to that client that I had in social work, I asked her, I was like, how many of these like male actors are gay? And she goes, secretly, probably 70% of them.
Oh my God. That, Jesus.
Like, and it didn't Cat Williams say that he saw like 2 men, like 2 very like notable men?
So there's a couple things because Cat Williams is known to drop it in his stand-ups. There was a stand-up he did in Jacksonville, Florida. He was wearing that really velvety looking, it was the green suit. Mm-hmm. It was like one of his first ones that really got like specialized. You can get it on DVD, you can get it on, I think it was on for a while. I cannot remember the name of it. But he was talking about when you go to the mansion parties, there's parties inside the parties, and you got to watch out with what door you walk into because you'll be finding out someone is a way you did not expect.
I think the other thing that also came out, and it sounds too perfect to be timed. Mm-hmm. And it makes sense now with the whole Cassie thing, because I don't know. I have a feeling Cassie didn't just sporadically decide to speak up. I think she might have given off hints. And the reason why I think she might have given off hints, and the reason why I think she allegedly might have given hints and Diddy might have allegedly picked up on those hints is because of the interviews Aubrey O'Day had last fall. So she was on a podcast where she had mentioned that all of the girls of Danity Kane, well, all members of all former Bad Boy Entertainment groups received an email stating that Sony Music is now buying the catalogs of all Bad Boy Entertainment artists.
Right.
Diddy and Bad Boy Entertainment will send each individual artist $900 in royalty payments.
Oh my God.
Disgusting. $900 in royalty payments. So long as they never, ever speak disparagingly about Diddy, about Bad Boy Entertainment, about Diddy Global, about anything.
He wanted them to sign another NDA, basically.
And Aubrey said, like, this NDA was ironclad. Like, there was not a fucking thing. You can't even say like he smelled bad or something like it. So she allegedly, of the 5 original members of Danity Kane, 3 of them signed.
Are you kidding?
And my thing is this: Aubrey O'Day, her main, not anything bad, but like she hasn't, from what she alleged, she hasn't received any Danity Kane royalties in years.
Yeah, and with streaming platforms, they get like a penny.
Yeah, I think, what is it? A song has to be streamed in full on Spotify like 35 times or something to make a penny.
Yeah. And to get like if you hit 1 million streams of the same song or of your album or whatever, it's not even, I think it's like maybe $100.
Yeah. So she had gotten on a podcast and said all of that. And it makes a lot of sense now because I firmly believe the difference between the first and the second season of Making the Band with Danity Kane is ungodly palpable. The difference between, oh my gosh, we made the band and we're making our first album and everyone was happy-go-lucky. The girls were like, first of all, Danity Kane, all of the girls, Aubrey, Shannon, Dawn, Dee Woods, and Andrea, fantastic, talented women. I think something happened going into the second album. I think, allegedly, that they were being drugged and sex trafficked while in studio.
Did you see? And I think there's something that like allegedly clarifies this, or
is it the phrase "that's someone's kid"? I'll get to that. You say yours.
No, there is an old bodyguard that has stated the girls were drugged, the girls were trafficked, they were told to do this with the other men, they were told to do that. Did he talk to them however which way? Because it was the second season, right, where he had a really bad argument that was recorded with the choreographer of one of those.
Leanne Gibson. Lorianne.
If you stand up to Diddy, you automatically get fired, and then you're labeled and you're blacklisted.
And she was.
Mm-hmm. So, and I want to say that was during either Danity Kane or Making the Band.
That was during, so that was Making the Band 3. There was Making the Band and Making the Band 2. Making the Band 2, I think, no, Making the Band 3 was Danity Kane.
Okay.
And so Making the Band 3 season 1 was like the girls getting formed. Season 2 was Danity Kane's first album. Season 3, all of this. And then I think they just went into Making the Band with the boys with Day 26. And I think that's when it was. Is Lorianne had said something to Diddy about like the timeline of something. And he was like, cool, go fuck yourself. But
yeah.
Little did we know that now looking back on it, Diddy was just a dude put in control when everyone else was making decisions behind him. It looks like that to me.
I don't know. There's stuff coming out that him and Jay-Z kind of concocted the whole allegedly Biggie Smalls.
I can allegedly agree.
Allegedly agree, that's right.
I want to touch back to the Danity Kane thing super quick. There was a statement that came out from a security guard or someone in the studio that they were in, like a security officer of the studio or something. And he had said, like, he had gone up to Diddy and was like, yo, regardless of the fact that these are grown women trying to make a dream come true, like that's someone's kid.
Yes, he's a big heavyset guy.
Yeah,
same bodyguard.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're on the same
bodyguard. Yes,
he was like, why the fuck are you and apparently that was the last day on his job.
Yep.
And the whole Jay-Z thing and the Diddy and Jay-Z conspiring to get Biggie, I'm not saying it's not true. I've heard that obviously Biggie, correct me if I'm wrong, Biggie was more New York, right?
Yep.
And there was like rumblings of Jay-Z coming up, like as a rapper and all of this stuff. And the plot line was to kill Biggie so Jay-Z could rise.
And think it kind of tracks, allegedly, because when you look at like how Diddy, like, I don't know, I loves Jay-Z, how he talks about him, how he puts him up on this high pedestal. I think there was an event where Jay-Z was recognized and Diddy went into this whole, like, I think it was like 15 minutes long. Oh, he's so amazing. He's so great. Thank you. Ever since Biggie left, like, Jay-Z has really stepped into the shoes. And oh yeah.
Yeah, but like when you listen to that, you don't think anything of it.
Right. You're not thinking anything of it while you're listening to it, but then later on you're just going, huh. Because you were so heartbroken. And on top of that, after Biggie passed away, was murdered, he continued to make money off of his music for, like, someone pointed it out, longer than that man was actually alive. So, and the mom hasn't really seen anything of it.
Because where did Biggie's rights go? Do you know? Like once Biggie passed, rest in peace. Where were his music rights sent to? Do you know?
I want to say it stayed within Bad Boys, because weren't they who were they? Because I remember the album No Way Out, No Way Home, where it was a big collaboration where it had like Mace and it had Faith Evans and then it had some Biggie and then it had some Diddy whenever he was Puff Daddy. And all these name changes, man.
But Puffy started in the mailroom. So I don't know. I think the goal was to always be like, if I have to do what I have to do, I'm going to do it. And now look at you with egg on your face and no money in your account. Allegedly.
I don't know. His music got weird. There was an early 2000s album I liked when he was collaborating with, like, he got like Christina Aguilera on it.
Tell me what you're thinking about when you get me. That was the song they actually did demo takes of on Making the Band.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was kind of cool to hear that stuff, like, and then a year later the song came out, because I always thought that song he was supposed to have, like, again, I think it's how it went, is that was the introductory song. It was supposed to be P. Diddy and Danity Kane on Tell Me, but then Christina Aguilera, of course, just
wanted it, got it.
Did her thing vocally.
Yeah.
But
well, he also had that girl from the one that's also on The Masked Singer that was in the Pussycat Dolls.
Nicole Scherzinger.
He had a song with her too.
Oh wait, no, not Nicole Scherzinger.
Yep. Well, no, it was. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought you meant there was a member of the Pussycat Dolls who was an assistant. I'm sorry.
No. The judge.
The judge. Nicole is great. He did like, yeah, didn't he do it? Wasn't it her and someone else?
Oh, I have the song somewhere.
No. I have Google up. Let's do P. Diddy and Nicole. Come to me. I can be all you need.
Like, yeah. That was the end of his great music, in my opinion.
That one, yeah, it's that album where he just has his glasses on. It's him in the. That was a Diddy album, and that was like, cool. This we can bop with. And then I don't think we heard much from him until about 4 months ago.
About love.
About everything above, and then you lovingly, like, allegedly drug and rape and sexually traffic your wife
and kill anyone
allegedly who steps in your allegedly way, allegedly,
or anyone who knows the details. So like Kim Porter. So there was I can't remember.
She gonna come out with some shit?
There was 4 people who were gonna come out with some. 2 of the guys passed away. And it was during the start. Was there like a Motown Records or something that he was also part of? Or starting up? Because that's where Kim Porter kind of came in from. Because she was like the secretary.
How did Kim Porter meet Diddy? Allegedly through Google. Sean Combs began dating Kim Porter in 1994. The first time I saw her, she was at the studio with her ex-boyfriend, Diddy told Essence, referring to Al B. Shore.
Him.
Yeah.
So he is the only surviving one. There was 4, so Kim Porter, 2 other guys, and Al B. And each one was in the works of either making a documentary of their life or writing an autobiography. 3 out of the 4 are dead. 1 went into a coma and is now out of his coma, but has not spoke since.
Gee, I wonder why.
All right.
Going back to not necessarily conspiracy theory, but I think everyone can attest to this. Diddy didn't pay his artists very well.
Oh no.
Like, how did Danity Kane, one of the best-selling girl groups of the 2000s, they were the opening act for the Pussycat Dolls, who opened up for Christina Aguilera on the Back to Basics tour. Danity Kane grossed $1 million, and their set was 15 minutes. Their set was like, I remember when I would go to shows and there was an opener for the opener. Because Pussycat Dolls were still coming up, but they were bigger. They were a bigger name than DK. And they grossed $1 million, but they still came out 15,000 in debt. And I'm very fortunate. I do want to give a shout out to my husband, who on his birthday in Las Vegas in 2018 got me tickets to see Danity Kane.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was Dawn, Shannon, and Aubrey. I'm not going to say which member of Danity Kane, but I am happy to say that I am actually friends with a standing member of Danity Kane.
Oh, that's exciting.
But anyways, yeah, P. Diddy didn't pay his fucking people.
No.
And even some of the other contestants from making the band, like, how is it that you're on Making the Band, you do well, you make it to the final 11, you make it to right before, the band is selected, and then you go out into the world and nothing happens?
That always tells me that someone spoke up or spoke ill and they got blacklisted. Just saying, because look at American Idol.
Tell me.
Runner-ups win what runner-ups do sometimes better than the actual
winner.
Yeah.
Look at who won. Wasn't Ruben Studdard a runner-up and Clay Aiken was the winner? And Ruben Studdard outsold Clay Aiken.
Daughtry too, right? Wasn't he a runner-up?
Daughtry's hot. Let's start there. Daughtry was sexy, but wasn't he also like 4th place? And now he's how many years into the game? Carrie Underwood, she was a winner, right?
I think she was a winner.
She was a winner. Well, forget, what is it? Jennifer Hudson too, right? Jennifer Hudson, I don't think she won. She was a runner-up, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe, because I remember Fantasia too, and I don't remember which one Fantasia came from.
Fantasia, was Jennifer Hudson a runner-up on American Idol? 7th place in season 3, and now she has a talk show. She, what is it?
Been in movies.
Starred next to Beyonce. And same thing, I think Fantasia also was Fantasia Barrino on American Idol.
Now I have a whole thing on Jennifer Hudson in another part, so
we will get to those. It's weird. I even think even on X Factor, when the Britney Spears season, which was their highest viewed, gee, I wonder why, a country singer won the $5 million recording contract, released one album that I know of, and one good video that Pepsi fucking sponsored. It was impossible to fucking miss. But do you want to know who did the best from that season?
Was that was a Fifth Harmony thing, wasn't it? Yeah. And for some strange reason, I thought they were the winners.
Didn't One Direction also come runner-up?
Were they a runner-up?
On British X Factor? I think so.
I think so, yeah.
And then Cher Lloyd as well?
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to talk about conspiracy theories, here's one that I know of the Miss Americana of American Idols.
Okay, let's go for it.
If you know who I'm referring to, little Miss Kelly Clarkson.
Uh-huh.
Allegedly 5 months prior, or several months, let's say several months prior to American Idol being announced, she was fast-tracked to signing a record deal. Allegedly, she did what she, let's not deny her talent, first of all.
No, she's great.
She's literally, I've never felt more unified as an American society than American Idol season 1. Like, we, Democrat, Republican, we didn't care. We just wanted Kelly to win. Rumor allegedly is that she was already like minutes away from signing a record deal on the dotted line. And that record label like became in cahoots with American Idol, and American Idol, not necessarily rigged, but highly, 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 allegedly highly favored Kelly.
A particular contestant, let's say it.
Yeah. Yeah. And same thing with Dawn Richard from Danity Kane.
Uh-huh.
When she auditioned for making the band, she was already signed to an indie label. Allegedly, Diddy bought her out of that label, put her in making the band so she would start making money back. And she said that's why she was also in that Diddy group that he started. There's that track with like Nicki Minaj on there.
Okay. Yep.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it came up in it a little bit self-centered, but that song,
yeah,
she was put in that group for 2 albums because she was still working off the debt.
Well, that tells you that he doesn't pay anyone anything. He pays them nickels compared to like the thousands they should be getting. Millions.
So Diddy, I think there should be an entire expose done on that man.
Oh, yeah. Supposedly,
tell me,
50 Cent is gonna do it, and it's gonna be released on Netflix. He wants to call it Surviving Diddy.
Yeah, can we do a solid favor and protect 50 Cent at all costs?
Oh my god, yes. He used to get on my nerves, but now I'm like, let's go.
No, I think what we need to realize is Curtis Jackson is a little bit smarter and a little bit more into, isn't he like from the Bronx or Brooklyn?
And he was he the Bronx? Was he in New York? He was New York, wasn't he?
Yeah, he said, I run New York. Like,
oh, yep, okay.
Come on now.
I'm sorry. Coffee was really early. I think it's worn off.
Jamaica. So he is basically Queens, Brooklyn. He's basically right around where Nicki is.
Yep. Him, who else? I felt like it was 50, wasn't it? 50 also warned about the white parties and Diddy.
Oh, yes. I think that's what it was. I think that's who I was referring to when he was like, because I think I had mentioned earlier, it was like some rapper who was coming up or something like that. I think it was 50.
Because new rappers coming into the music industry
had to go through Diddy.
Yeah. And the thing is that I want to say, I really want to say 50 Cent would tell them, if anything, avoid those parties.
If anyone invites you to a party, and I even like this is on the topic of like the Hollywood conspiracy theory parties. Do you remember or know of that like social media girl Whoa Vicky?
She sounds familiar.
Whoa Vicky is that white girl who has a black scent, who's who like tried to be a rapper. She's from Zone 6 in Atlanta. She has a black dad, all this stuff. I wasn't a fan of hers until she came out and was like, so she filmed a video on TikTok or something like that. And it was like a couple of hours after she had gotten to this party.
Right.
And she said, they wanted me to give up my phone. She's like, I'm not fucking doing that. Cause like, what the fuck?
Yes.
Like, I'm not fucking, you got the wrong one. She gets into her car and drives off and like apparently is like, y'all need to realize there is something demonic about Hollywood. There is something in, even one of my best friends who lived in LA, he even said, he's like, you can, after a while, you see it. She started saying there was like all these parties where like somebody snuck in their phone.
Okay.
And they literally do a pan. So on this side, it's like everyone's having a great time. We're drinking, we're having fun, smoking hookah, yay ass. They literally pan, and I shit you not, 15 feet to here, and you see a group of people leaving that dance floor. They're getting robed up in hooded robes.
Oh
And
no.
like walked to like a back part of the house.
No, absolutely not.
There's something I okay. This I just thought of, and I'm so like,
It's okay.
do you know the alleged allegory of Monsters Inc. in its bridge to the alleged conspiracy theory of the Hollywood satanic cult?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I just kicked my toes.
Okay. Trying to make sure I'm not moving like all my stuff too.
No. Monsters Inc., right?
Right.
How do they fill up the tanks?
It's with screams.
And what color
Sending their monsters.
what color is the indicator on the tank?
It's yellow, right?
It's red.
It's red.
Mhm.
Okay.
So allegedly, have you heard of this cute little thing called adrenochrome?
No.
Allegedly.
This is. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Uh-huh. You got
Okay.
it. You got it.
I'm there. I'm getting there.
Allegedly, it's the like the gold juice.
Okay.
thing
Oh, this stuff. What's her name was talking about? The
Karen
one from Orange
Manning
is the New Black. Yes.
Yeah, allegedly.
Right.
And even just like talking about it, like the real kids would be sex trafficked, frightened to death. So I think it's like their thyroid would release so much adrenaline that it literally becomes like a fountain of youth. And then they would chop up the kids and like suck on the thyroid and like get all of that adrenalized blood out. I allegedly Monsters Inc. is an allegory to that. Because think about it. The children's screams are what's keeping the factory going.
Right. And then they transition it over to laughter. But, like, how have these people not gotten sick?
But also, do you want to know why I think they transitioned it over to laughter? Psychologically, laughter and fear come from the same part of the brain.
Okay.
They release the same chemicals. It's just perception. That's why I think when we talked about in our last episode that I was with you on, when watching
the
music.
Yes. I remember.
Yeah. So and again, I'm not going to go into what I think people do and all of this other stuff, but what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so that's disgusting, first off.
Let's start there.
Absolutely. So the other thing I have about celebrities, right, is if you go against the grain, look at how you end up. Look at how people and look at how the public ends up perceiving you. So I went down the little rabbit hole of I went onto Reddit. Fucking Reddit. And I typed in conspiracy theories and gold juice was one of them. And one of the first few comments on there is like, she's a crackhead. That's what they called her. They were like, oh, she's on crack. She's a crackhead.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah. That's what people were saying. And I'm like, I sat there and I started to think about it. Anytime think about Kanye. He's lost his mind.
Oh yeah, weren't the like, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Kris Jenner trying to like petition him into a conservatorship? Allegedly.
Kim Kardashian.
Yes. Allegedly.
Sorry guys. Yeah, hi. Don't need that clan coming after us.
Allegedly. For all intents and purposes, everything we say here is alleged.
Absolutely. And I'm going to make sure that's in the show notes too in bold letters. Signed and dated. Thank you.
We don't want Beyonce coming after us. We don't want Jay-Z. No, I'm gonna I'm a peon in comparison to
what they could do. Oh, yeah. So when you think about those who have went against Hollywood, we're just gonna call it Hollywood. They either end up dead, they either being called crazy. Kevin, I did not even realize not Kevin Hart, but Cat Williams basically kind of had to go go underground, but he ended up being more underground. And he wasn't put into a lot of movies anymore because he did not want to wear dresses. Think about it.
Oh, because isn't it like the embarrassment ritual or something like that?
Yeah, and they do it to all Black men. If you want
to, didn't Kid Cudi just say something on Twitter about that?
Mm-hmm. And I want to say, allegedly, this is from the Cat Williams Club Shay Shay. So if y'all need to go see that, y'all can go see that. But on Club Shay Shay, when Cat Williams was talking, that's what he talked about with Kevin Hart. Because Kevin Hart went in a dress on Saturday Night Live, if I'm not mistaken.
So did Kid Cudi.
But that's their way of exploiting and degrading Black men. And then when you watch that happen, then all of a sudden they become the known, the wanted.
I think I don't want to say, speaking of embarrassment rituals.
Panda eyes?
Well, speaking of embarrassment rituals, and then all of a sudden they blow up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to let you finish.
Is it Doja Cat?
No. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Yeah.
Apparently, well, think about it. Beyonce was like the lady in red, the lady representing blood and passion that night. Taylor was in a sparkly gown, white. Kanye was in black.
Oh my God.
Thematically, the black shadow overtook the white purity and embarrassed her. And then the lady in red came and said, okay, come with me now.
Yep.
And then if you also think about it, let's get into Doja Cat really quick.
Oh my God.
Not just Doja Cat, but have you seen Lil Nas X's new video, J Christ?
I haven't watched it. I've seen clips of it.
Jesus, that video. Ooh.
Yeah. Was it worse than that other one where he was lap dancing on the devil?
Oh, it's basically the opposite end of it. So this one's more heaven-based, but it's still mocking.
Yes. No, I get it. I'm sorry.
So there was a lot of similarity. Did you see Doja Cat's Paint the Town Red video?
Yes.
Where she was on that green skull thing. There's a lot of imagery similarities between when she's on that farm. There's those farm sequences, and there's the same thing with Lil Nas X's ones, and he is cleaning sheep's wool. He's shaving sheep's wool. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna fucking do it. So the whole thing with Doja, what do you want to start us off with?
So first off, I remember she went into hiding for a bit. You remember that?
A long time.
Right. And came out in that god awful. First, she shaved her head and her eyebrows off. Ma'am. But that god awful. So you remember it was was it a fashion show or something? There was
the Pirelli fashion show
where Kylie, yeah, that red ensemble that was all the way up to the top. It was all red, glittered, latex. She was sitting next to the designer, and then so was Kylie Jenner wearing a big old yeah.
But that was a weird moment because they watched the model walking down the runway and then they panned to Kylie wearing the same thing. Okay, early access, bitch.
Right. But there's that, and then didn't she come out and say she did a ritual? Didn't she say that she took part in a ritual to get I guess the Illuminati type of?
But she jokes at it. She jokes at it because then people won't take it too seriously. That's why Cat Williams inserts his shit in his comedy. There is truth in what people are saying when they're trying to make you laugh.
Oh yeah.
And if I remember, like, call me crazy. Again, this isn't me coming after anything other than just what I'm seeing.
Right.
So when Doja Cat disappeared and came back, she looked thinner. Like, I was like, where's your body? Where's your body?
Where's some hips?
Girl, what? What in the Ozempic? Allegedly. But she went on live with Terry Joe on TikTok.
Okay.
And Terry Joe was just saying some stuff, and Doja was like, no, but I'm a lizard. Like, I'm really a lizard. Like, they made me a lizard. I don't know if you know that conspiracy theory of like the reptilian stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the person that we're looking at now, possibly, allegedly, maybe a clone.
Okay.
I think because she between Planet Her and Scarlet, she dipped out for like a minute.
Yeah, and then went, like, no offense, but she kind of went sideways.
She went ape.
Right, because like the Woman, I love that song Woman she did.
Woman.
Oh yeah. And then all of a sudden she came back and she did that Paint the Town Red, and I was like, that is two completely different things. Like, well, even her herself is completely different.
Yeah, she even said, like, oh, I'm a demon lord, seen before, and then she has a song.
Well, it's the same with Beyonce and her album. What was it? The Lemonade album, where she called out all the haters talking about the Illuminati.
Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. Plot twist. If that conspiracy theory was not true, why would her dance captain of Ashley McEverett, who's one of the best dancers in the industry,
right,
openly come out and say, I can't work with her anymore because she openly practices witchcraft? Why would Ashley McEverett want to miss out on a fat check?
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, there are people who go to Beyonce shows sometimes, obviously to see Beyonce, but like, I go to Beyonce shows, yes, to see Beyonce, but to see all of my dancers.
Yep, because they are on point.
Ashley being one of them. I'm talking the dancer who was shoulder to shoulder to Beyonce for a decade plus. And then now, guess what? Now that she came out and said that, she's like, yeah, Beyonce does occulty things, and we are sometimes told to sit in circles and do like breathing exercises that look like seances, XYZ. She said something to that effect, allegedly. Right. Why also would then, I think it was a drummer or a guitarist, and mind you, Beyonce hires female band like members. Why would someone else come out 2 weeks later and say the same thing?
Right.
Why would a worker who is just like stocking shelves, allegedly, when Beyonce had her partnership with Adidas, and apparently, allegedly, Beyonce was in an office room singing for 2 hours, but she wasn't singing
her songs. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies that revolve around Beyonce.
I mean, I'm a fan of what she's done. She's done great work. She's a great artist. But when your husband is openly a recruit of the Freemasons and has admitted to being a Freemason.
So, getting on that one and the whole recruiting part. Anytime shit hits the fan on someone that he has been deemed close to, he drops them like hot potatoes. Oh. Think about R. Kelly.
Think about Megan Thee Stallion.
Rihanna.
But they're close still.
They're still close, even with the whole Chris Brown. Like, Chris Brown outed that.
Oh, also, Rihanna outed herself.
That's true.
In a joking way, where she was, they were talking about her video. I can't remember which one it was. And she was dancing on a pentagram. You can't fucking tell me it's artistic symbolism if you're dancing on a fucking pentagram?
Are you talking about that? Well, same for her fashion show. Didn't she have a Fenty fashion show that was like
these things are well thought out. These things are not like, and then she goes on a radio show and she's like joking. People are like, so the radio host was like, oh, are you a devil worshiper? And she's like, what the hell do you mean? Of course I'm a devil worshiper. Like joking about it. It's like, look at the color scheme. Look at her. Like, I'm not going to say, I'm not even going to say what I was about to say because I don't want to
get okay.
I don't want to get shitted on by people who I know were a part of the event she recently just did.
Right. Yeah. So going back to Jay-Z, let's just go down the Jay-Z little rabbit hole, right?
Let's take some time.
So we got Jay-Z. We have Aaliyah. We have R. Kelly. And then we have, what is his name? Dame? It was Aaliyah's boyfriend at the time of her death. Okay. So the big theory on this one, and it includes being caught on like different people saying it. You got Jaguar Wright.
Oh, she's.
I hope she's in hiding. Every time she does a video, I hope she hides somewhere.
They find her anywhere. She went to go take her brother to a haircut, and someone spotted her.
Oh no.
And she's like, I'm getting the fuck out. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like begging her brother, get out of the chair.
So, I'm sure you know the whole breakdown of Aaliyah's thing, right? Kind of, maybe.
From what I remember, I was under the impression that Aaliyah's death was a sacrifice.
Yes, that is actually what is her name? Why can't I think of her name? Mary J. Blige said that on an interview, TV interview when it happened, because she said, God don't take people down in their prime. This was a religious sacrifice or something like that. So obviously Aaliyah married, well, not, see, I hate saying this one. So allegedly, not even allegedly, it's all known that R. Kelly forced Aaliyah into a marriage.
Fact.
They get it annulled. He should have been arrested then, because that's all sorts of just fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's like P. Diddy Part 1, basically.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure this is where Diddy got some of his blueprints from. And just managed to find out, okay, I'm gonna go to your court hearings, I'm gonna go to your court cases and see what you did wrong so that I can hide it a little bit better. Because I mean, think about it, with Cassie, it's been like how long?
15 years?
Yeah. It's a double-digit number.
For sure.
Right. So Jay-Z wanted to allegedly at first date Aaliyah. He was more interested in Aaliyah than he was Beyonce.
I remember hearing something about this.
And she instead went after, or basically hooked up with Dame instead, who was a friend of Jay-Z.
Okay.
So
Dame Dash, right?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
The music video, the last music video she did, which was it Rock the Boat?
Rock the Boat.
Or More Than a Woman? Because both songs came out about the same time. So anyways, that video was already set to be done in Miami. They had everything already set. And then the producer of that video was like, no, I want to take it to Jamaica. After you just put everything together. Everything was done and solidified. So Aaliyah made mention she didn't feel comfortable with it. And they end up, because she already doesn't like going on planes. So she was calling her boyfriend at the time, and she was telling him about it, and he's like, well, don't go. And she's like, no, it's okay. Lenny Kravitz is going to loan me his private jet. They filmed the video. She gets to the runway. They're loading up a little rinky-dink puddle jumper of a plane. They've already overloaded it to capacity. And she's standing there and she's like, I'm not getting on. I'm not getting on. So instead of taking, and the reason why she ends up on that plane is because that producer of that music video took Lenny Kravitz's jet and already flew home. And he, if I'm not mistaken, was employed, allegedly, by Jay-Z. So plane goes down. They say the plane guy was on, what was it, cocaine, I think. But before She gets on the plane, she refuses, sits in a taxi, and tells the taxi driver to take her somewhere where someone from her team comes in, gives her a pill that knocks her out. And the driver has confirmed it was the driver's kid, the taxi driver's kid confirms he saw them pick up her body.
Practically lifeless.
Practically lifeless, definitely heavily sedated, and put her on that plane. And then if you think about it, so she was becoming a triple threat. She was really great in the music industry.
Actress.
Good movies too.
And like Queen of the Damned, babe.
Yeah. Oh my God. If there was ever a movie that put women into like a bisexual tendencies, that'd be the movie.
I'm pretty sure I was like, I might be straight.
That bathtub scene.
Alone.
Done.
Not the Saltburn one, the good one.
No. But then that was the alleged. And then think about it, like what? Destiny's Child stays together for like another year or so. And then they disband. And then she becomes this absolute overnight success. And doing the same stuff. Music, movies.
I mean, she's not an actress.
I'm not saying she is.
She ain't. I'ma just be the one. We can't like listen, when we look at people and we say like, oh my God, my queen, my favorite, they can't be the best at everything. Like, I will be the first to admit this. Mm-hmm. Britney, y'all know how I feel about Britney Spears. I will.
That movie was not good.
I don't think so. She was decent.
It was decent, right? Like, but again, she also had at least a little bit of like training from the Mickey Mouse Club.
Not a little bit. Homegirl was on Mickey Mouse Club for what, 4 seasons?
With Justin Timberlake.
And Ryan Gosling, Carrie Russell, like Christina. Like Britney came up through, and I think if we ever decide to do an entire episode of the conspiracy theory of Britney Spears, I'm ready to deep dive.
Yes, absolutely.
Whenever you want. So you just say the word. But I think like we need to, there's no conspiracy about this. Our favorites cannot be good at everything.
No, and they're not. Sometimes, even if they're really good in their craft, they're going to have one song, 2 songs, maybe even a whole album that is just like,
yeah, for me, like not every Nicki Minaj track is like, oh, that's a fucking hit. Right. Sometimes they're just good. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Britney Spears. Do I think what they made Britney do to her voice was not something that I love. No, because she had a really, she was almost kind of like Miley Cyrus with like that real nice, soulful voice. She had literally like her, like the back end of her voice. Like Christina Aguilera, she's a front end singer, meaning like how I interpret that is like out the gate, it's amazing. With Britney, when she was younger, she could belt at the end of everything. She just pushed all the air out of her diaphragm, all the good stuff. What they made her do to her voice, though, that little high pitch, the girly, the baby thing, because that's if you remember album 1, album 2, Baby Girl was singing. In the Zone. Wait, what? No, Britney. No, Britney was the 3rd album. It was Baby One More Time, Oops, I Did It Again, Britney, the 3rd album. That's when we started getting more of the breathy. Yeah. Like The Boys and Overprotected is super breathy. Mm-hmm. And then In the Zone, for some reason, she fell into the They literally altered this woman's voice. Oh, yeah. She's a fantastic, oh my God. I remember early 90s, early 2000s, like her Disney days? Yes. Yes. Bitch was fucking, that mic was on. And Destiny's Child being her opener in Hawaii. For her? Like, I was a fan. I am a fan. Oh, to this day. And even like, so going back to like Beyonce and everything, I definitely see Beyonce as an amazing artist, an incredible entertainer. Do I think she got to her position cleanly? No. Oh, no. I'm absolutely convinced Aaliyah had to be taken out for her to get there. Oh, yeah.
because otherwise, if Aaliyah was still around, you wouldn't.
Beyonce would be at the level of like an Ava Max.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or like a Dua Lipa. Like she wouldn't be there.
Nope. She would be at the level that like Michelle and Kelly are on with their own solos.
Maybe a little higher because
You think?
Tina and what is Beyonce? Rob? No, what's Beyonce's dad's name?
Oh God.
Michael?
Michael? Let's Google.
Here, you do it.
I'm doing it. Hold on. I got this. Okay. So go with your train of thought.
So I think that like Beyonce's mom and dad had a very business related helping hand.
Oh yeah.
Because think about it, Beyonce.
Matthew.
I knew it was an M. Matthew, very smart with branding, very smart with businesses. Tina, very, very crafty.
And manageable. Like she managed well.
And think about it, Beyonce was taught to be coachable.
Mm-hmm.
If you really look back at Beyonce's history, she was taught to be coachable even now. And I think that's why she's so successful, because if someone has an idea and she and that person with the idea are in alignment, it works. But I think also now she's just learned how to be a boss bitch. Like I loved the Renaissance movie. And again, I'm not saying anything against Beyonce.
Right.
I just think that she didn't get to where she got to cleanly.
No, and I think Jay-Z had a huge, because look at what happened to Sean Paul.
Happened to Beyonce's career once she got with Jay-Z?
Oh, it went.
Skyrocketed.
Yes. They had the Crazy in Love, and then from there, that's where it went.
What happened to, God forgive me, what happened to Megan Thee Stallion after she, it was like 3 years ago, she had met with Roc Nation and signed with Roc Nation.
Did she really?
Mm-hmm. What happened to her career?
Oh, it's
rocket. I mean, this was before the body yada yada. This was before she.
And they did a song together. Savage, right?
Savage, yeah. But also, Beyonce didn't want to do it. From what I heard, Beyonce didn't want to do it.
Now, I did hear Beyonce was part of the downfall for Tina Marie. Is that how you say her name?
Why do I know this name?
So, did you ever trashy television? You ever watched Love and Hip Hop? Los Angeles, Hollywood. It had Ray J. So she was the girlfriend of Ray J. Yes.
Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Yeah.
So remember, she didn't look the same. She was a little bit heavier in Love and Hip Hop whenever she came out. But she was heavier than what she was when she first came out into the music industry. So allegedly, obviously Jay-Z must allegedly step out on his girlfriend. And she was what was considered, she was going to be his label's princess. Right? You know how they always
they always have who was the it girl for Roc Nation for almost a decade?
It was Rihanna, wasn't it?
Rihanna, yep.
But this is where I'm going with this. Okay, so apparently, allegedly, Jay-Z was a little too cozy with Tina Marie. She has a fantastic voice, absolutely fantastic. They were doing a showcase for the label. They had a label showcase or whatever where there was a girl band that came through. There was a boy band. What's his name? It's not Neo. There's another one like Neo though. Was it Neo?
Mario?
No, not Mario. I'll think of it. Well, anyways, another solo guy like that. And then it was Tina Marie. And then there was Rihanna. And they had put all the money. They were working hard on getting Tina Marie. Beyonce pulls Jay-Z to the side and was like, no, you should focus on Rihanna. Because what she was trying to do was get Jay-Z away from Tina Marie so that she would leave. She ended up being blacklisted because of that. For the longest time. Because even when you watch her on Love and Hip Hop, she still has a really hard time getting a label to take her on because she was labeled as an alcoholic. And she was only 18 at the time whenever they kicked her out. She was like 14 or 15 at the time when he found her and was coaching her.
For all intents and purposes, as a life coach, that's not what I do. For all intents and purposes, I do different life coaching. I do actual. I've heard of this. I've heard of this. I've heard of this. I've heard of this. And I've heard of it in a different capacity.
Have you?
Okay, so I've heard of this, but on a completely separate scale, with completely different people.
Huh.
Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
And
was it Diddy?
Ashanti.
Oh, yes. Yes. Freaking Ashanti and Nelly getting together now. Like my early 2000s.
It's all is right with the world. Like kind of fucking it's about damn time. Like my thing was this is like if you paid attention to Shakira J-Lo Super Bowl performance.
Oh yeah.
You want to know who was in J-Lo's prayer circle?
Not Shakira.
Ashanti.
Was she really?
Physically there. I think she did. I think if you really listen to J-Lo's work, those are Ashanti reference tracks.
Oh, I know. I have went down that rabbit hole because people love doing that one.
Because my thing is this. Like, J-Lo, everyone's like, J-Lo hustles so hard. Sure.
She networks. Let's call it networking.
She markets really well. And that is where I think some of these artists who, if we really break down like a big artist to the bare bones, to where like the hair and makeup is gone, the audio engineer is gone, the choreographer is gone, where it's you, a mic, and a stage. Can you fucking do it?
Oh no, there's no way.
Without the lights, without the dancers, without the production, without the glam, without the cues, can you fucking do it?
I will say though, J-Lo is a dancer. A dancer.
J-Lo is a dancer. Jennifer.
Yeah. That was like her start.
Jennifer Lopez she was a fly girl.
Right.
And then somehow she was discovered.
I'm sure she was.
I'm sure she was. I'm sure they all are. She was discovered, and then I think wasn't
Selena movie. The Selena movie is what put her on the map.
The Selena movie was what put her on the map. But also, isn't it weird that the Selena movie came out almost a year after she passed away? As if that movie went into fucking pre-production 12 seconds after the world was told.
Right. Yeah. I don't.
The reason why I say Jennifer Lopez and Ashanti is because how is it that and I'm going to say this openly and honestly, I think Ashanti is a stronger singer than Beyonce. Ashanti is what I would like to call a vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
The same way Adele is a vocalist.
Yes.
The same way Jessie J is a vocalist.
I wish she would.
The same way Nicole Scherzinger is a vocalist.
Yes.
And when I say, I mean, Nicole Scherzinger is a trained opera singer.
Yes.
Ashanti is that bitch to me. And how she was treated. And this is like this goes into the Benny Medina. The Benny Medina door of the music industry is one that I'm like.
Engrossed in.
I'm like, how can you open this door lightly? You can't.
Mm-mm.
Like, I will give J-Lo this. I think J-Lo's coachable. And I feel like a lot of them have to be, but like the way that J-Lo was more put on a pedestal because I think she was malleable.
So here's the issue, though. She was not very good at paying her dues to those who helped her, though.
Absolutely. God forbid you call her out on the fact that, like, when you listen to her first, like, 2 albums,
mm-hmm.
you know, those background singers are doing a great job.
Yeah.
They're working fucking double overtime.
Mm-hmm.
J-Lo's taking a fucking piss break.
Not in the music videos, though.
Not in the music videos, not when it counted.
Right.
If you listen to, what is it? If you listen to Ain't It Funny, that whole chorus on the J-Lo album, like the
Yes.
J-Lo brand album, Ain't It Funny has some feelings, you just can't do that. And you can't. There are 4 background singers singing the chorus. There's not a drop of J-Lo on there. 2 of them are male.
That song though, isn't that sang like that chorus part, or maybe even the hook? Isn't that sang by another female that actually has outed it on like TikTok or something? I'm trying to think of who it is.
Ashanti just performed at a festival, and she did "I'm Real." What you get?
Good.
She literally
was all over that because I was listening to it because I loved Ashanti.
The thing is, J-Lo's career was built on the singability of Black women.
Mm-hmm.
And J-Lo, like you said, J-Lo never gave that credit. One of the women who J-Lo's career was built on vocally was Ashanti's.
Oh, yeah.
And
because that era was where she blew up the most, because that was her and Diddy getting together. That was, and part of it was that. It wasn't her actual talent behind it.
No, it's marketability.
Yes.
When I tell you, and I think you know this now, there are strategies to the success in the fucking entertainment industry. There are people who get together and date because it's PR, because it's this.
Yes.
Like, but like, I want to know what conversation happened where J-Lo was like, I want to be the best. How do I do it?
But she's still mediocre, because there are movies that I'm like,
she wasn't that good. She was very good in Hustlers. She was very good in Hustlers.
But I think part of Hustlers, though, was also the people she picked to be in it. Because, I mean, Lily Reinhart?
Yeah, well, Constance Wu outperformed her. Because Constance Wu is a fucking actress.
And I mean, Cardi B, she was a stripper. So she knew.
Well, also, I think they said like Cardi B, Lizzo, Jennifer Lopez, Constance Wu. Yeah, Cardi B and Lizzo were in the movie for all of 11 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
Cardi B and Lizzo were in the movie probably less time than it took me to like go to the bathroom.
It's kind of like whenever they market Matthew Lillard for Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, and he was in the movie for
like 5 minutes, maybe.
At most 6.
Yeah.
Like the very beginning and then the final act.
And we still love you, Matthew Lillard. Please make more.
Ugh. I want to also go back to, speaking of Matthew Lillard, on that same train, I made that coughing noise when I said Melissa Barrera. And I made it because when you go against what Hollywood tells you to believe,
you get blacklisted.
But the thing is, Melissa didn't. She has 2 movies coming out this year.
Huh.
Abigail and
she's in that one, isn't she?
And Your Monster.
Who picked her up?
Radio Silence was like, you're a fucking talent.
Smart.
You gotta also realize Melissa Barrera comes from the Disney family too.
Mm-hmm. That's another route I want to go down.
Oh,
Disney kids.
Disney kids. I want to talk about, like, we can do this another. We need to like plan these conspiracy theory episodes out, because like, you know who to me is an unsung hero who actually, if they really focused on her, they would have gotten the best like pop rock girl in Disney history since Miley Cyrus. Do you want to know who my thought is?
Who?
Bridget Mendler.
I forgot about her. I'm not gonna lie though, I love some Dove Cameron.
Here I come, where you at? The night is young. Dove Cameron's great. I mean, Dove Cameron's plastic surgeons did a great job.
I thought so too, because she allegedly, guys, she's still pretty.
She admitted it. There's
did she? Okay.
No, she admitted it. Oh, she was like, yeah, I had surgery.
Okay, good.
There's no fucking way like your nose gets smaller and then you have like the cupid
thing smoothed out. Yeah.
Like all of this. There's no, and then your lips get 4 sizes bigger. There's no fucking way, babe. There's no way.
At least she admits it, because the Kardashians will never tell you. Allegedly.
Kylie did.
Just for the lip though. Nothing else.
Also, and people think that Kendall hasn't gotten any work done. Okay.
Oh shoot.
She hasn't gotten any like noticeable, like,
she didn't get no booty.
And I think she had her boobs done, but like just a little bit.
Yeah, just to enhance. I mean, even Courtney admitted to her boob job, but when she did them, they look great.
Yeah. Even
So,
like, I think even like allegedly, dare I say, Nicki Minaj, like she went in for a breast reduction.
mm-hmm,
They definitely, if you look at her boobs now, they're like nice.
mm-hmm.
Like she always had nice boobs, but her boobs were big.
Yes.
And then I look at her now and I'm like, allegedly, they might have also reduced your waist size.
Just a little.
Just a little. And that's okay because also she had a kid. She's about to
Yeah.
go on tour. She got to look good. Sure. There's one, I think I want to just touch on the one I don't think I've mentioned, and correct me if I have or if you have, but Bohemian Grove.
No, we have not. And I
Okay.
have been dying because you said you had a friend who worked there.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
Bohemian Grove, for anyone who, do you know Bohemian Grove and all of that stuff?
So I know it's up in the redwoods of California.
Yes.
I know
And
that there is
specifically.
an owl statue involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sacrifice involved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's normally the rich and powerful men, not
Mm-hmm.
women, but men.
And
So,
do you want to know what type of wood is used to create some of these things?
no. What is it?
It comes from the holly tree.
Why?
Hollywood.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. I got you now.
Getting it?
Yeah, I got
And
it.
notice how the Hollywood sign is like, it tells you where you are.
Yes.
So from, and my friend's name will stay, I'm not even going to mention a gender, unless we might have already let it slip. But no, I think you said you have a friend.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to mention the gender.
Okay.
But this friend, who I will refer to as this friend, stated that the security level is, it's as if they've like blocked off the gates of heaven.
Hmm.
There's a river that runs through Bohemian Grove, and
Okay.
that river is publicly accessible. They cut off access to it on both sides, I think like 10 miles before you actually even begin on enclosing in it. So like you're far away.
Mm-hmm.
You're too far out to hear and or see anything. And it's like nestled, it's like perched in this like valley type area. And this friend was there and worked as
Like,
just a food preparer.
okay.
And this friend had mentioned to me, I had asked him, like, are you able to say a single thing? And this friend mentioned, other than the fact that the pay was really good.
Well, I'd
It,
hope so. If you want people to be quiet, you better be paying.
it was really creepy.
Huh?
This friend mentioned that they would get requests at any hour of the day for certain foods.
So were they there? So was it like were they like in a camp?
It's a convent, basically.
Oh, so they had to. Oh my god! So kind of like the menu. Did you watch the menu where he kept like?
Yeah, it's literally that.
Okay, all right.
Just creepier. And apparently, like, what happens is it's not just like the rich and powerful, like politicians. We're talking like actors, and it's all male.
Right. Yeah, I knew that part.
It's just the men. And when I say men, I don't mean like men in 2024. I mean like men go. And sometimes, from what I've heard, women are brought in for activities.
Those fun activities.
Or sometimes the men partake with each other in those same activities.
Huh.
And it's like 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that. I read that. It was like a 2-week.
They disappeared. They like no one knows when it is.
Yeah.
It could be happening now for all we know.
Right.
And I think the other thing that I remember this friend saying is like, no one was able to have their phones on them.
Oh god.
And you're either doing your job or you're in the holding room.
Oh, wow. That's almost like jail. Well, it's
You're
basically
either
jail.
you're either cooking and cleaning,
Right.
or
You're
you're
either doing the work or you're sitting.
sitting down.
Yeah.
Um, what else did this friend mention? Allegedly, they plot out certain things for the rest of the world. They plot out, this is what's going to happen. This is how we do this. I want to see this happen.
So basically, it's Illuminati members with the summer camp.
Basically, yeah, it's an
Okay.
Illuminati summer camp.
We'll call it that.
Yeah.
Because I did a little bit of reading on it, and it's like, it's, when I was reading it, I was like, this screams, this is where all of the dealings happen. It's not in behind closed doors. It's out in the fucking forest.
Behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors. But I mean, that's exactly
It's
what that
ritual after ritual, and like the owl burning thing, like that's.
Well, oh yes. So I remember the big thing about the owl, and I was reading also that it's either the Freemasons or it is the Illuminati. Whenever they first came to be, like back in like the 17 or 1800s, whenever those secret orders started,
The Bavarian.
one of them worshipped to the owl.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? The Roman, I think it's a Roman goddess, Minerva.
Mm-hmm.
So the owl now makes sense. Because I was sitting there and I was like, why would you have a big fucking owl? Like,
well, think about, can I also mention this to you now that you say symbolism? In the first Harry Potter, the two things closest to him were Minerva McGonagall and Hedwig.
And an owl. Yes. And an owl, yeah.
Harry Potter is the whole the symbol of the
Deathly
wand,
Hallows.
the Deathly Hallow symbol. That's an Illuminati sign if I've ever seen one.
Right? That's the all-seeing eye.
So yeah, anyway, going back to, that's where, you're right. Like from what I've understood and from what I've been told, that's where all the dealings are made.
Did they see anyone? Did they see any of the Yeah? Did they ever drop any names? Yeah? You can text me. And we'll just leave it there. Sorry, everyone.
I just want to I'll text you this name.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be a surprise.
I feel like it's probably not. Yep. Okay. That tracks.
Of course it does.
All 100%, 110%. Let's just give the extra 10.
Yeah. To give the people a hint, because I don't want to say this name, this man, because it's obviously male oriented. This male is an actor who is very fond of water in one way or another.
I like it. That's a good one.
That's a very loose hint.
It is.
But think about large bodies of water.
Large, yes. Right.
Yeah, so my office light just went 2 times brighter on its own.
Oh no. It's not one of those touch either, is it? No.
If I have to like lean into my computer to touch this thing, but it's not, it's a knob. Okay. So yeah, this friend definitely let me know that it's very protected. This friend also let me know that they never saw any of the activities, but they knew what was going on. Things could be heard. Some people were seen.
Right. Do they ever change out? So like, I always feel like with these things, either they try and keep the same exact people for years on end, or they change them out every so often. Okay.
This friend did week 1 and that's it. This friend was invited for year 2. They went and they did week 2, and then this friend stopped doing it.
Huh. Okay. So they do. Okay.
It's quite the like mixed bag of things, because like, I don't know, like it's to me, I don't think, like, the thing that I was trying to mention to you, that I was kind of coming up with like a statement to kind of like say this from my perspective. I think conspiracy theories and stereotypes have some delegation of authenticity, because if enough people see a certain type of person do something, it's either a stereotype of that group of people or a conspiracy theory. I don't think that there is like a clean slate behind the curtain.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I don't think there's a clean slate behind the curtain. And I, in fact, probably think if we were to even this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, we're barely getting like a.
Oh, you're not getting anything out of it, really.
We're getting like a moment.
Yeah.
Well, and in fact, actually, not even as an audience member to the whole world as a stage production that we're living in, all of the names coming out is more of me as an audience member saying, I fucking knew it. Like, there can't be this many whistleblowers. There can't be, I mean, also, how does a certain presidential candidate from 2016 have 13 of her friends commit suicide?
So my thing on that one, right, is that Jeffrey, was found dead. They said he committed suicide. He was found dead.
Allegedly.
So I find that weird, though, because who would you, in the case of the two of them, and one seemed more mastermind to me than the other, how is she still alive?
Because
like, do you think like someone in her family, or I feel like someone in her family, or she's got a close friend no one knows about that has all
the
of the
details stuff. I guarantee you, I almost guarantee you, and this is, I'm not saying anything other than hypothetically, allegedly.
Yes.
If I were in, let's just call her what she is, Ghislaine Maxwell. If I were in her position, and I'm talking years fucking prior, if I was in her position, I would set up a failsafe.
Yes, absolutely.
If I'm masterminding all of these political, musical, artistic people, and the sole purpose of Epstein Island is like, yeah, you can have the record deal and the Grammy, but we're going to film you raping little kids, and if you ever try to go against us, we'll release this. You never want to I feel like for Ghislaine, you never want to underthink that your enemy is smarter than you.
Right.
Because all of this is coming out, and I'm almost certain the sole purpose of why she's alive,
the tapes and stuff, I think, are with her, with someone she knows and trusts, or some sort of vault something.
What I'm saying is this, and this is what I would do, is like, if I were in a position where I was a crooked thief who was recruiting women and little boys and stealing people and kidnapping and sex trafficking, if I knew that is my name, which it's not, by the way, if
guys, we're going hypothetically,
I would definitely be like, okay, if anything ever comes back against me, you, person that I trust, that no one can know you exist in my orbit, fucking orbit. The day they announce I'm dead, the day they announce I'm in jail, release it. Press send. And I think that's why she's being kept alive. Because keep in mind, these tapes aren't digital. They're physical fucking tapes.
Yes.
Like, and to convert them to DVD and all that stuff, you don't need an internet connection. You don't need something that the NSA can spy. I think Ghislaine even said, like, someone in the world is going to hear the news that I've died, and they're going to ruin all your lives. Every last one of you. The reason why these names took so long to release is because some of our favorite people, some people that we've mentioned, went to this island multiple times.
That would be a fun series to do right there.
If you want to end on the Jeffrey Epstein theory,
okay.
It makes sense why they call themselves the Island Boys.
Oh, yes. Oh my God.
There's no way, like, when you look at the pictures of them now versus when they took the photos with Jeffrey Epstein, I'm like, those are the same kids.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, those are the same kids, maybe 5 years apart, 5 or 6 years apart, because like they kind of out of nowhere, and also
Came.
they're not doing anything, but they're still
Yep.
making so much money, and like they did. They went on one of them went live and was like, yeah, I did an Illuminati blood ritual, and this is why I have all the money that I have.
Oh my God.
There was people who were photographed by like Dave Chappelle or Dave LaChapelle, and this one model, I think he was like Asian or something like that. He was like, this is why I didn't make it in Hollywood, because the shit they wanted me to fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to say it's a conspiracy theory. Hollywood is weird as fuck, dude.
Oh yeah.
The people who are in
Absolutely.
it are a part of so much deeper shit than we fucking know. I feel like the celebrities that we see, some are organic, sure. Some are selected.
I have a whole theory on that one too, and it deals with Kevin Hart. Go watch Club Shay Shay.
Okay. Speaking of Kevin Hart, do you remember the interview he had where Kelly Clarkson came on his show, like on Netflix or something like that? He had like a Netflix interview thing.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, Kelly Clarkson was like, I've been offered millions of dollars to do weird performances. And Kevin was like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
Oh, I have to find it now. Oh my God.
So there's this, like, I don't think we even scratched the surface of so many things we could have talked about. This is like, whenever you want to do another run of this, and maybe we can pick a specific one. We talked about 38 different conspiracy theories. I'm so down.
Okay. I'm so excited because like I've been wanting to jump down this, but I always feel like this is better as a conversation with someone than it is trying to explain it by yourself.
Oh yeah, or my favorite conspiracy theory that I'm sure is not even a conspiracy theory anymore. Have you heard of backmasking?
Oh, it sounds familiar.
Play a song backwards.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about that. You're saying baby one more time, right?
Yeah, she says, "Sleep with me, I'm not too young."
Mm-hmm.
And then Lady Gaga's Paparazzi. We pray to the stars above, above. We model ourselves in the arts of Lucifer.
Oh.
And we didn't even dive fully into the Doja Demon thing, the Matthew Perry.
Oh, I know. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's right.
Do you want to, if you want to, I'm comfortable wrapping up with that. If like,
we can wrap up. Yeah.
no, I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's great because it'll give enough to where like they can all just like kind of coincide with each other, and it's just like one long.
Yeah.
So like even what we're talking about right here can still be, oh God, like 38 freaking episodes if we wanted.
Oh yeah. I was thinking also, like, I know you texted me about the whole like Doja Cat Demons cover. The cover art, how it's like the Friends cover, but a dot is missing.
Yes.
And then Matthew Perry's death is announced
right after.
Right after?
Yeah. And wasn't that right after she said she did some ritual?
Not the conspiracy theory, but the other thing I want to get into that was a tweet from Jeffree Star was when Jeffree Star was like, yeah, I left the Illuminati in 2021. Why the fuck do you think I'm moving to Wyoming?
Yes. Yes. And then there was the whole debacle between him, Kanye, and Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm. And then he even said, he's like, what they're doing to Kanye and Britney is sad and da-da-da-da-da. Like, and I want to get it. I also want to talk about Britney's, the conspiracy theory of Britney Spears not even being at her wedding.
Yes. The one to, what's his name? That she just recently divorced?
Her ex-husband, Sam, get the fuck out of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Dingle hopper. Little bitch.
Bitch.
But yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. This has been great. Do you have any little shameless plugs you want to put in?
Oh, absolutely. It's being called. So TikTok and Instagram and all of that, none of that has changed. Official Nino Daniel. Patreon is very much still there. Life coaching is very much still there. If you go to TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, make sure you hit follow, tap the link in my bio. All the information's there. And when is this episode coming out?
So this one's going to come out next week.
My first dance class back after, and if you live in Arizona, my first dance class back will be on January 28th.
That's exciting.
And I'll even give you, I can't, no, they're gonna be okay. I'll give you this much. It's a Tate McRae song.
Ooh.
So those are my plugs. Can I also just like give you your flowers for 2 seconds and say thank you so much for creating one of the most amazing conversational spaces and being such an amazing friend and just being someone I can volley this shit off with. Because I am so serious, like the way that you approach everything and how excited you are makes me excited about what I'm talking about. And just thank you for being here and in my life and being so supportive and kind. And also, in case y'all don't know, Homegirl is an entire mom, like an entire wife, an entire worker, an entire, like, listen, I pity the US Army for trying to go up against you.
I appreciate it. Oh, I love you.
Love you.
You guys make sure you get on his Patreon because the exclusive content that comes out on there is phenomenal.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. This is the end of this very first conspiracy theory episode with many more to come with Nino because clearly this is our subject.
This is it. If like I've always wanted to be a part of a podcast, and whenever you want to do these episodes.
Okay, yes. And with that being said, that's the end of this episode.